Hello there. So, shall we quickly figure out what we did yesterday in just three sentences? As usual, we'll check in later in the class. We'll check in for ourselves in our body. Yesterday, we were talking about this aspect of triangle to balance, and one of the things we looked at was the points in the leg. One being behind your big toe and metatarsal, the other one behind your little toe and your metatarsal, and the other one was your heel. So basically, what we kind of explored was there are 3 points in more or less all the places to keep something balanced, but we are on two legs. So to compensate that, within one leg, we can find different points to work with so that you're balancing all the time. And one of the things that I left with yesterday was we would like to connect a connection between the heel and the sitting bone. Yeah. And we were talking about balance. Yeah. So if we can continue the same thing today, and let's see where we can lead towards. So if you can just figure out, let's start from the other end today. Let's figure out the shoulders. So let's figure out the shoulders go up and down just few times. And I would like you to just see all the possible, uh, what's it called, movements in your shoulder. So go back to your school days. If you're in one of the Indian schools at some point, all the PT masters used to do that. All these things. There's kasrat we used to do. So go back to that attitude towards the shoulder. But I would like you to really take your attention to the shoulder blades. So let's just imagine we have wings, and the wings are the shoulder blades. Yeah. So really, when you move this shoulder, see if you can figure out how your shoulder blades are sliding against the rib cage in this place. So it's just articulated around the rib cage. So there is this whole situation with the shoulder blades that can slide in a very specific way. Yeah, really find that. And as we do this, I would like you to just put your hand down wherever it is and just lift your hand towards the shoulder. Stay there and come down. Okay. As you do this, see, just take your attention to the way the shoulder blades are rotating. Really think of the shoulder blades rotating here. And this time when you go up, you stay at the shoulder level. And I would like you to just rotate your shoulder blades back and down. Just there. Okay. And from here, so your chest is automatically up, drop it. Down. When you go up, shoulder down, catch. Yeah. And then just go down with your elbows to your rib cage. Just hold this. Yeah. Once more. So the first thing is the hand goes up, find your shoulder level, rotate down. Hopefully by now all your neck muscles are kind of engaged. Um, and from there, just push your hand back. Just go back with your hand. Okay. I'd like you to close your eyes. And from here, I would like to just drop your head towards one shoulder. where whichever shoulder is that. Just drop it and relax that particular shoulder. Nice. Even if you think it's completely relaxed, see if you can just relax a bit more. Then come back up. Go through the center to the other side. Go through the center. Turn towards one diagonal. So you can open your eyes and just follow this. So again, this is something that we kind of did in PT classes. Yeah. So, but I would like you to just be really, really gentle with this and come to the center. Let's figure out what is this. So, there are these muscles in the neck which going to the upper back, okay? And we want to kind of stretch them. Okay. And one of the things we do normally is this. Now I'm exaggerating a bit. This is the only locked position that we more or less engage in. So just to counter that, we're going to move the neck in every way it's possible, but do it really slow. So there's no momentum. Yeah, there's absolutely no momentum. Don't do anything circle. Yeah. So I want you to just find all the possible ways to just drop the weight of your neck and then find the stretch. So if you go back a bit here, you find the stretch here. Just stay with that stretch and then pull yourself from there to the center, whatever that center is. Just close your eyes, continue this action of finding stretch in your neck slowly, as slow as possible. And you can stay in places for a longer time. You continue this, really find a way to stretch your neck. And again, just be really, really, really gentle. Keep changing all the possibilities. And if you want a bit more stretch, so you can just place your hand on your head. Just place your hand, find the weight of your hand. And see if you can go from side to side. And as you do this, see if you can relax your spine. See what happens if you just relax your spine. And go back to the shoulder at the same time. See what is that happening. Okay, let's come back. Hello, Ananya.
Hello.
Hey, hey. Let's get back. Can you sit? We're just doing something sitting. Ah. So, there is something about the three things that we were talking about yesterday, the 3 points. So, if you can just find the same thing with your neck, but just let's just appreciate the fact that there is this big round thing, which is kind of balancing on a very small surface, which is a vertebra, which is called kind. Every vertebra, this is putting out, and there's a kind of a triangle in the vertebra. And actually, it's two triangles. There's one goes front and one. So let's see if you can kind of really find that point in the neck where the head is balanced on top of the spine. Right? Yesterday we were looking at the foot. Now let's find the head. Yeah. This is what I would like to do next. If you can find whatever presumed center of the room or the space that you're in, and yeah, go to the middle of the room, wherever the space you are. Go to the middle of the space. Yeah, make sure there's enough space around you. Okay, you're outdoors. You have to find the middle of the earth, Machan. Where are you? You're in a terrace. Okay. In the sky. Okay, once you find that position, I don't need to actually look at you as long as you hear me. If you're in the frame, great. If not, it's okay. Yeah. So once you find once you kind of find the middle of the room, let's find a standing. Let's stand with your completely legs together, touching each other. Okay, and just extend your fingers towards the floor. Yeah, and just take your legs a bit apart, like a 1 inch apart. There. Yeah. And from here, I would like you to just find those 3 points in the leg that we were talking. I'll just repeat for the benefit of the new person. So if you can take your weight completely outside of your foot, just take all your weight outside of your foot, like this. Both the leg goes out. Yeah. And then come in. Just do that a few times. So take all the weight away from each other outside of the foot. Nice. And then you change it towards inside of the foot. And then reduce that shift and then find the balance, like find the center. And and now let's figure out these 3 points that we were talking yesterday. The 1 point is at the heel of your foot. Yeah, the other point is just below your thumb, and the other point is just below your little toe. Yeah, you kind of put pressure equally on all the 3 points, and as you do that, the arch of your foot is coming up. That's the act. So you're pushing down. Imagine you're doing a namaste with the foot. Yeah, this you're doing, but the other hand in this case would be the floor. So you're finding this empty space when you do this. No, there's an empty space you can't touch in the palm. So no, when you do this also, when you do completely off like this also, there's a hollow space. So find this hollow between the floor and your foot. Yeah. Again, some of us might have a flat foot and they may not have that hollow, but presume there is some vacuum space there. Okay, so you're standing there, and I would like you to find every corner in the room. So you're standing here, you can only turn your head, find every corner in the room. Start looking at, if you're outdoors, figure out every diagonal, every possible direction that the head can move, and start moving. And really look at the space. Continue doing this. See if you can go back to your triangle all the time. See if you can just relax your hand. Look at every possible direction that your head can move. And as we do this, you're rotating your head, and along with it, your eyeballs are rotating within the socket. See if you can get your attention to that. As you move your neck, the eyeballs are kind of moving in assisting its focusing and refocusing constantly. And see if you can look far, look up, look down. There is this ability of almost 270 degrees that you can turn your neck. See what you need to do to turn all the way back. Maybe you have to turn from your shoulders and your spine to see right what's behind you. And as you do this, find the center at some point. Find the center of your spine. And very quickly, we're going to do a roll down. I would like you to just go as far as you can go with your roll down. Just drop your head, continue the weight of the head. Go all the way down as far as you can go. And we're going to stay here for like maybe a minute or two. So get comfortable in this position. Just completely drop your head. Don't hold your neck. Yeah, and there is this aspect of at least when you're upright, you're always carrying your head. So now you don't have to. Yeah. So really see what happens if you let the head let it be. So just use the weight of your head to find space between the vertebrae. Yeah. See, just scan yourself, see if you're holding anything which is unnecessary. See if you can relax your chest, relax your shoulders, actually relax your thighs a bit, relax your knees. We tend to hold the glutes for no reason. And in this position, relax your neck to a point where you can slightly shake. So think of saying yes, front and back, and put that action into your head. Just say yes with your head in this position. Relax your head and say yes. Yes, in the sense with the action, the Indian yes. Slowly start doing that. And as you do that, really find the weight of the head. You might have a blood rush. It's not a big deal. Just be prepared for that. And say no. Turn your head side to side. Just relaxing the head. So relaxing the neck. And just bend your knees, go to a squat. Keep the head as relaxed as possible. Go to a squat, whatever squat you're comfortable with. Once you're in the squat, we're going to stay there. And from here, we'll just shift your weight to your hand and get into an on all fours. Just find yourself on all fours. Once you're on all fours with your knees down, with your hands on the floor, try to take your head in line with the spine. What does that mean? So if you're thinking of showing me, yeah, I should be able to see the top of your head, not your eyes. The head is in line with the spine when you're looking down in this position. So parallel to the floor, basically, guys. Put your eyes parallel to the floor. There you go. Thank you. Okay. Stay there. Stay there. Okay. And see if you can rotate the shoulders here. So the first thing that we did, So see if you can rotate your shoulders in this place with the weight on it. Rotate and find a place where it is more stable, basically. Nice. And continue that. See all the possibilities of the shoulder blade, and as a result, your spine moving with this weight on the hands at the same time. Really find every possible movement that's possible in this position. So considering that there is weight on your hand and you're able to move your neck because it is not really carrying any weight, and you're able to move your spine and go crazy with it. Go crazy with it. See what are all the possibilities in this place. Don't think of a cat and a cow. Just figure out all the possibilities in this position. It can be slow, it can be fast, it can be constant, it can be uh, what's it called? It can be held in different places, and see what happens if you start rotating your neck also. Continue this, and in the next few seconds, I'll play a piece of music. See if you can constantly move. Don't stop this action of. Think of a cat. Think of a cat when they start stretching, no? Is it possible to get into that mode of really finding every corner of your spine, And there's no right or wrong as long as it has some kind of a non-painful engagement with it. I'm going to play a piece of music. We're just going to do it for the next 2 minutes. And really, really treat your spine like cat. Go. Continue what you're doing until the music fades out.
Saying I love you is not the words I want to hear from you. It's not that I want you not to say, but if you only knew how easy it would be to show me how you feel. More than words is all you have to do to make it real. Then you wouldn't have to say that you love me, 'cause I'd already know. What would you do if my heart was torn in two? More than words to show you feel that your love for me is real. What would you say if I took those words away? Then you couldn't make things new just by saying I love you.
Okay, just find an ending for this activity. Let's come back to the camera. Let's come back to a talking mode. Hello, Ananya. Can we just quickly check in? We check in the middle of the class.
Hello.
How are you been? Where are you?
Good. I'm
Good,
on,
good.
but near the sky.
Chennai, you're in.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. How is your spine feel? Fine. How is your spine feeling right
Spine,
now?
spine feels good, but yeah, my shoulders feel tense and neck also. Past few days at Ulkin Bikram
Mm.
Adri.
Yeah, yeah. It's amazing. You just walked in after the neck exercise that we did. We spent the first 10 minutes just doing this. So
No,
good, good,
even
good.
before this past few days neck is a bit.
Okay. But right now, after the exercise, did something open up or is it the same lot?
Yeah, a little open.
Little. Okay.
But the
Uh,
shoulders are still feeling stiff.
is it frozen? Is your shoulders frozen?
Yeah, kind of like stone.
Okay. Huh. We'll see. We'll see what happens by the end of it. Adil, sir?
Um, it feels lighter. Something feels lighter. Maybe I have very tight
Mm,
shoulders, and
mm,
um, so you never assume that you can move it in
mm,
different ways. I think
mm,
the linearity of thinking comes in the motion also. It's like either
mm,
this or that. Like you can. I think even gym exercises are like
mm,
this or this or that, but you don't really think of circularity or
mm.
spirals. So that was,
Good.
yeah.
Uh, okay, we'll continue the same kind of activity where I'll lead you for a while and then you go with it. Huh? As long the only thing is make sure you don't go beyond your limits. So if you start by feeling okay, this is the edge of it, it's okay, it's 7 o'clock in the morning. You don't have to do super stretch. Yeah, so we'll continue with the spine. Let's just do a small thing. So here, just if you can sit up, just find the finger. Okay. So let's say we'll work with the thumb. Okay, find the thumb. Okay, and I would like you to connect one part of your torso to it. So and see if you can connect a part of your spine. So let's say I connect my thumb to the what's it called sternum. Yeah. So as I move my thumb, the sternum moves. Yeah. So it kind of like doing a puppetry with your thumb and your spine. Yeah, and it can be anything. I can have a string from my thumb to the shoulder. So I have that. So you go boom. Yeah. So you're finding am I stuck? Ooh la la. Look at the stuff. Yeah. Just find that and then maybe you can go to some other finger, find some other point in the spine too. Like imagine there's a string going from here to a vertebra and then you start moving that. Yeah. See all those possibilities. Yeah.
Standing.
Got it? Hmm?
Standing. Sitting.
I just want to give you this information now. So it's a thing. So you got that kind of a connection, no? So we have an imaginary connection with one of the tip of the finger. So I can also do the middle finger is connected to maybe your the rib cage. So you figure out. So there are these twin like vertebrae so that goes from here to there that can be individually connected. There are there is rib cage. There are collarbones. Yeah, I'm talking just about big bones. See if you can find that connection because there's a very clear connection between the limbs. When you walk, your limbs are kind of connected. If you don't, you kind of fall off. see if you can find this imaginary connections where I'm connecting my one finger to my shoulder. And what is that kind of, what are the possibilities that you can figure that out? Just find that. Okay. And this, when you move in the space, really find that connection of finger and the toe. So at the end of the day, you can start with this connection, but I want to see all the other possibilities of the spine, right? Just those kind of things, but this is just the thing for you to add on. So there is this relationship to the extremity of your limbs that connects to the spine. Yeah. And see if you can find spirals, because there's no such thing as straight line. No, there is always, even if you're drawing a straight line, the earth is itself curved, so it's always a curve or a spiral. Yeah, so again, I'm going to play a piece of music. Get up in the space, find that triangle yesterday that we were talking about with your foot, and the legs don't move. You're kind of stuck in the same place. Yeah, so think you're concreted into the floor, and start this. Take your hands out, figure out the connection between the spine, the torso, and the extremities of your hands, and see how far you can go with this limitation of not being able to move your leg, but everything else is moving. Uh, One good image I have is, if you have seen those balloons, like the flaring balloons that they have, large balloons with just limbs that going around like this, but they don't have a spine. They just air. Yeah. So that's the thing. So start slow and continue. Again, you can go anywhere, any speed that is working for you right now. Yeah. When you're ready, go for it. Go. Go, go, go. Don't wait for the music.
She took all my money and my best friend. You know the story. Here it comes again. I have no pride. I have no shame. You gotta make it rain. Make it rain. Since you're gone, deep inside it hurts. I'm just another sad guest on this dark earth. I wanna believe in the mercy of the world again. Make it rain. Make it rain. Nights too quiet, stretched out alone. I need the whip of thunder and the wind's dark moan. I'm not able, I'm just Cain. Open up the heavens, make it rain. I'm close to heaven, crushed at the gate. Sharpen their knives on my mistakes. What's she done? You can't give it a name. You gotta just make it rain. Make it rain. Yeah. Without love, without your kiss, hell can't burn me more than this. I'm burning with all this pain. Put out the fire, make it rain. I'm born to trouble, born to fate. inside a promise I can't escape. It's the same old world, but nothing looks the same. Make it rain, make it rain. Gotta make it rain, make it rain.
We continue what we are doing. Continue what you're doing. Open your eyes and go back to the first thing that we were looking at, the room, no? So find ways to look at the room as you're doing. Yeah? Open your eyes and look at the room. Open your eyes and continue what you're doing, but really recognize what your environment is. So if you're in the room, find all the corners, all the possible places. If you're outdoors, really look at the skies, look at the detail, but don't stop your spine. So your legs are grounded, your spine is kind of moving, and your head is also, and your eyeballs are really recognizing things in the space. Yeah? Continue.
Maybe I didn't love you quite as often as I could have. Maybe I didn't treat you quite as good as I should have. If I made you feel second best, girl, I'm sorry I was blind. But you were always on my mind. You were always on my mind. Maybe I didn't hold you all those lonely, lonely times. I guess I never told you I'm so happy that you're mine. Little things I should have said and done, I just never took the time. But you were always on my mind. You were always on my mind. Tell me that your sweet love hasn't died. And give me one more chance to keep you satisfied. I'll keep you satisfied. Things I should have said and done.
Continue what you're doing, but this time let's fade out the movement and find a standing position. Go back to the first thing we did.
You were always on my.
Keep the attitude with your spine the same. So you're kind of really giving all the freedom to your spine to move, but come to a standstill. And find that triangle that we were talking about, the back of your heel, outside of your foot, inside of your foot, and put them onto the floor. And once you're completely in some kind of a stillness, I'd like to just close your eyes and observe what's happening, everything below your hip. There's a very clear grounding that happened for you to move so much with your torso. Something has to be the opposite. So your legs were pretty grounded. They were supporting you the whole time. Yeah. And and we did something which is very counterintuitive. So if something is standing upright, the last thing you do is go off the axis. If anything goes off axis, it will fall. But as living beings, we have this ability to catch ourselves before falling by redirecting it into other places. So when your torso is going too far, somehow it will manage to go towards the other extreme. And and as we do this, what's happening is there's a lot of things are kicking in your leg. The leg is constantly rebalancing itself. So it's not a constant balance. That yesterday we were talking about as a tripod, right? So there was a very clear imagination of it's a tripod, it sits there, we don't move it. But the advantage and the ability of a living being is we can actually move, and the tripod can adjust to these movements, right? So what we did right now is we had two legs grounding into the floor, and we just challenged it by going off the axis as much as possible. And I would like you to just close your eyes and just figure out that division that happens at some point in your leg where the body decides, okay, you move a lot from here, I will be strong. I will be strong. I'll put a boundary and I'll make sure I'm standing. By doing that, you have a complete freedom in your torso, which can go to places without falling over, without toppling over. Yeah. Just find that thing, but come to a complete stillness. Just close your eyes. Take your attention to inside, like go inside to your spine. The fact that we moved so much, there is resonance of movement still in your torso. Yeah. So it's never the same. Like if you really go into like every movement that's happening at the same time, your body is readjusting to the movement of your earth, of the globe. So it has to, or else it will fall off. So there is some constant readjusting that's happening. So if you can just observe that in this quietness, observe the fact that the body is constantly readjusting, even in this act of just standing still. It was very clear with big movements, your leg did kick in. There was no question about that because you know that if the legs were not activating and releasing at exact times, you would fall off. But even when you're standing, relax your hands, relax your shoulders. There is a constant, what I would like to call is recalibrating. Every joint in your body is recalibrating to just be still. So the more still you are, the more movement is happening in your body to achieve the stillness from externally. So take your attention to every possible joint, which is kind of readjusting itself to the movement of the earth or the movement of the air. See if you can imagine those small muscles which activate and releases at precise points to make sure you get the desired result with your movement or stillness. Just gather your thoughts as you continue observing. See if you can verbalize the last 40 minutes of bodily experience that we went through. Keep it maybe one or two sentences, and when you're ready, come to the camera. Take your time, but in the next 20 seconds, come back to the camera. Take your time. Just 20 seconds. Shall we start with Adil?
Yeah, I think noticing the micro movements, even when we feel we are still, but that stillness is also fleeting. Like you're getting that maybe for a second, and then something twitches, and then you come back to the like maybe a millisecond of complete stillness, or maybe
Mm,
not even that. And then you recognize what are all the things which are happening to even make stillness happen. So a lot of movement makes stillness happen. So that is something that was, and also I think for me the connection was as if the everything from torso down, to think of in larger economics sense, everything from torso down is sort of like nature in the sense that, and which gives humans the freedom to explore and think, but the stability is coming from something which has very very like it has the conviction to say, okay, you go and explore now, go to the moon, go to Mars, but I need to have this part which is sort of take care of you while you dance around. So some analogy that came to me.
nice. And then, yeah.
Yeah, so even for a simple action of just standing still, there were so many things happening in the body which you don't even realize. Even, okay, so suppose I used to balance on one foot, then I could see it, but okay, even if just standing properly on 2 feet itself, all this so much movement is happening, and feeling a bit like feeling up wobbles and all those micro movements showing something. And how there are so many different possibilities of moving the spine, but even when we make a circle, so we need that center point, that axis, and then we can go in so many possible directions, but somewhere that grounding, even when we draw with the compass, we can keep changing the point, or we can
Yeah.
change how far it is, but
The scale
some
of it,
point has
yeah.
to be
Yeah.
but then some point needs to be there even for going far away. And we keep changing it each time. When we focus on a different part of our spine or a different direction we look in, then we keep changing the center as well, or the distance.
Yeah.
And and that's an interesting observation, like how being rooted in ecology, that is giving us the base for doing everything else on Earth. So how, and that's more in the terms of a time frame. That is, the time frame of ecology is much longer. Like it's been around for millions of years, or the way we look at time is very different. Like nature, like if you look at the life of a river or a soil, they are formed over millions of years. They have the process of birth and death and processes of living are a much larger time scale. So that's why when we just see in a portion of the time scale, so we don't see what all changes are there much. Don't really give much notice to it.
Yeah.
We feel it's just, we take it for granted. Like, yeah, it's just there. It's just there, but we are the ones who are changing a lot. We are inventing so many things. We are innovating so many things and experimenting. But then it's just that because we're in a shorter period of time, we can see more changes, more evidently. Like especially when a child uh, is growing, we can see more changes. Like suppose in 1 year itself, we can see a child has changed so much, has grown so much, or so many different things happening. But then once we reach a certain age, like we become an adult, then uh, we cannot see much changes after that. Like it's more gradual. We can only see it after a longer time that oh suddenly it became old. But the changes happen in a much larger time scale perspective. But they still happen.
And yeah, like I completely agree with the bigger picture. You don't really see the change. It just nature just does its thing, and you don't even realize that's happening. That's the beauty of it. Uh, just to put the lens the other way around, there's always change. Like some things, it is so constant we don't even recognize it. Like the fact that for me to balance, there's always a recalibration. I like this word of calibrating. Your body is kind of calibrating constantly. It's not like it's called calibrates when you move as a gymnast. That's like mastering the calibration and throwing yourself and landing somewhere, which is like mastering something, like. But at the basic of, if someone is able to stand away from the gravity, everything changes all the time. So it's like a constant moving that happens. So I was more interested in that. And then, like, the fact that we moved the whole 40 minutes like this, and we were really aware of this movement. I can see the movement, I can show the movement, and I went quiet. And there's a little dance that's constantly happening in your body just to keep you standing. Yeah. So the idea was to really recognize that change. There is the bigger one, but I think if we can concentrate on the smaller one, something else might open up. I don't know what, but there's definitely value in concentrating on something which is constant. Like, I don't know, my analogy is, if something becomes very constant, it's taken for a grant. And that has happened a lot with the idea of money. I think so, because we forget the fact that we need the laborers of the leg for freedom to go on. If I just ignore the leg for a longer time, that's it. Actually, there's a lot of back pain that starts because you're holding your glutes. There's a lot of leg pain that starts because your posture. So there is this connection with really going extreme with your torso, doing a lot of things, completely ignoring your legs. So when you look at when someone is trying to teach you lifting the weight, not in the sense of a gym, a practical lifting the weight, they'll say use your leg. There's a reason for it. Like, spine is just not made to take weight. It's as simple as that. Our spine is not made to take weight. And that compensation of uh, weight distribution. So legs do a lot more work, and so somehow I see that connection. And legs can be ignored really because they're so far away from our brain. So we only think from our brain. Uh, one thing that I want to just end the class with was, we don't we like there is how many, like, have you ever caught a running bus? Like, you're standing at some point and the bus went and you went and you caught it. Yeah, you caught it. More often not, you'll catch it. That split second that you ran is as fast as any athlete. It might be just 4 or 5 steps, but you went like that. Yeah, you remember that superhuman skill that you had for that fraction of a second. I would leave you with that information today. Just think about it, because I would like to tomorrow see, we were still and figuring out a fluid thing with your torso. But the one more addition that happens with us is we are also moving in the space. So there's something about that balance. So it's not a balance in one point. It's that point moving and still keeping the balance all the time. So it's a very simple thing that we do. Spend a lot of time in our toddler years to figure that out. Once we figure it out, we forget it. We just take it to granted. Okay, I'm walking. Great. Yeah. So I would like you to end the call with that. Do you have anything to add to the call before we cut the recording and maybe we can have a
And
conversation?
also, like, how the interdependence of different parts of the body, like even for a simple motion or a simple stillness also, all all the different small parts of the body, they work in connection with each other. Something we move, if we move the just one part of the spine in some direction, the entire body has some kind of stretch or some kind of this movement. So they all are very linked to each other. What we do in one place, it has an impact in some other place somewhere, which we don't notice much.
Yeah, I would also like to expand that what we do it in some time will have an impact in a different time. So right now, whatever you did, like for instance, just sitting in a phone, you may not feel anything right now. You just lock yourself. In 2, 3 days, you'll start having pain.
Mm.
No, so of course there was an interdependence within the system of the body, but there's also something about the time. I
Mm.
want to go into that in the second week, but right now let's figure out the basics of what's happening in our body. Yeah, that's a very good thought. I already planned that, like one interdependence and action reaction, but that's not in this time. So there's something about time we tend to forget.
Mm.
It's like, oh, injury happened. No, injury is happening. You just
Mm.
didn't realize it. Like there's something about, oh, this happened. Like you wait for something to break to realize,
Yeah,
okay, we need to fix it. But
there's a
there is
whole
something
build-up that happens before it.
we miss it. We don't see it. Like it's happening. The body is screaming, like, listen here, don't do this. We just completely ignore it because it's small. It doesn't affect the larger good. Anyway, that's the second week I'm kind of thinking of. The first week is just looking at the body and its interdependence and everything. And then the dependence on the space and the environment and the time. That's that. Okay, guys. That's the end of the class. We can stop the recording and we can have conversation, which is